Um, my name's Emma, and welcome to my podcast. It's called Inside My Head, and it's a podcast about our favorite thing, mental health. Yeah. And so, um, this first episode is just gonna be me. I know. And we're just going to be talking about, um, you know, some of the things that I struggle with, some of my diagnoses that I struggle with. And then the next episodes, I'm going to have a guest, and then we're going to be talking about things that they want to talk about and things that they struggle with. Because even though some people are diagnosed with the same thing, they can have different experiences. So it will be cool to get different people's perspective. So I'm really excited. I've been working on this for like 5 hours. Yeah. Just trying to get all the tech side, you know, done. Because I'm not techie. So it's happening. I'm excited. So let's do this. Okay. So some of the things that I struggle with are anxiety, PTSD, and bipolar disorder. I know, such fun things, right? And so I'm just gonna I'll give a little brief overview of what each one is, and then when I'm doing an episode with someone with that diagnosis, we'll get into more of a depth like overview of what it looks like. But so, which one, which one should we start with? So many to pick from. But let's just start with anxiety. So, anxiety is when you feel like worried, tense, or afraid about a situation. Um, so, just like you can become really overwhelmed and you're just really anxious about something, maybe feeling a little uncomfortable. Um, so, that's always fun, right? Yeah, so fun. And then PTSD is when a traumatic event happens in your life and it just kind of scars you. And so, um, after that event, later on, there become triggers for you, which can lead to like flashbacks or uncontrollable thoughts that go back to that traumatic event. Yeah. And then, personally, my favorite, bipolar disorder. So, bipolar disorder is a chemical imbalance in your brain that causes manic and depressive episodes. I don't know. So, yeah, all those are super fun, and that's just some of the things that I struggle with. But we're still here, we're still out here living life, it's going great. So I guess for the rest of the episode, I'm gonna kind of dive more into um, what it's like for me living with bipolar disorder because it impacts me the most. And I do really love to talk about it because I just think it's a really interesting, um, you know, mental illness, I guess. Um, so yeah, let's dive more into that. So I guess I want to talk about, what it looks like for me. Let's start off with mania, because being manic is so fun. Yeah. And if you don't know, you will know. So when I'm manic, oh gosh, I feel amazing. I feel great. So let me explain that more. I just have like all the confidence in the world, and I feel unstoppable because I just have like so much energy, and it just feels really good. It feels right. But um that's just like the delusion that it that like I give myself, I guess, cuz it's not really like that. It may like seem like that to me, but on in reality it's really not like that. Because I'm impulsive, I'm super agitated all the time and like very irritable, and also it's just hard for me to like be in reality because we could be like having a conversation and it's like a very direct, um like straightforward conversation, but I'm interpreting it like completely different, and I'm only picking out the pieces that like I want to hear, and that agree with like what I want, basically. So yeah. And then also when you're manic, since you do have so much energy, sleeping can be really hard sometimes. And yeah, so it's just like a lot. And it's kind of like I'm just like a tornado of chaos, because I kind of thrive in chaos. Well, let's not say thrive, because gosh, but I'm very comfortable with chaos. Um, when things are going really nice, really smooth, I get really anxious and I'm like, oh gosh, something bad is about to happen. Something's a brewing. Um, so yeah. That's basically me when I'm manic. And it typically lasts about 3 weeks, my mania lasts. And then dun dun dun. I'm so glad I got this mic working. This is so fun. I'm like really close now. Hello. Anyway, um yeah, depression hits. So basically what my depression looks like is I should like flip to my bed. um yeah, I'm just in my bed. I don't want to get out. I've had to miss work at times. I've missed school sometimes because I just physically cannot get out of bed. Um, I can't take care of myself. It's hard to like shower, brush my teeth, do anything. Um, it's really hard. You just like, for me, it feels like a blanket of just like sadness, and it just like tingles in my whole body, and like my chest is really tight and feels really heavy, and I just like, it feels like I'm grieving. It feels like loss or something. Like it's just like it's more than that. It's depression. And and sometimes when it's really bad, I will have suicidal thoughts. So that can be really hard at times, and so I just have to learn to work through it. Sorry, I don't know why I did that. Anyway, I was diagnosed when I was 22 years old. For women, typically, you'll you'll get diagnosed between the ages of 18 to 22. That's when it's like most apparent, I guess. Um, and then, um, sorry, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, I remember now. Sorry about that. Anyway, so basically, it took me a little bit longer to get diagnosed because I was self-medicating. Because go we'll go back a little bit. When I was in 8th grade, I was diagnosed with narcolepsy. Those of you who don't know what narcolepsy is, it's a brain disorder when your brain doesn't produce the chemicals to keep you awake during the day, so you just like fall asleep. It's not like you just like pass out. It's different than that. You like feel it coming on, and then you gotta go lay down. Um, and so the doctors put me on Adderall, and it did really help. Like I was energized, I was able to stay awake, I was so productive, like such a good student. I was just able to get things done. And then, but the worst part about Adderall, if like, I don't know if anyone listening is taking it, but the come down's really rough. And so, like at the end of the day, and so I would smoke weed for the come down to help me sleep and just like take the edge off. And so I was self-medicating and hiding the characteristics of being bipolar, with Adderall and weed. The Adderall was helping with my depression when I was in my cycle of being depressed, because it would keep me up and it would just get me moving and doing everything. And then also when I was in my episode of being manic, the weed would help me sleep and just kind of calm me down a little bit more. So, because I was on Adderall until I graduated college. So, that's why it took so long. Anyway, that's just a little bit about that. So, when I did get diagnosed, that was interesting. It did take a serious event in my life to happen um, to get diagnosed, and it's really funny because um, when I met my therapist for the first time, um, I saw him and we were talking, and he was like, "Yeah, so people that are bipolar." And I was like thinking in my head, I was like, "Why is he bringing up people that are bipolar? Why is he making me like in the same sentence with people being bipolar? That's just like weird." And then something happened that weekend, and I saw him like 5 times that week. And then yeah, then I got diagnosed by a psychiatrist that I was bipolar type 2. And then I came back to my therapist and I was like, "What the heck? How did you know?" He's like, "You are textbook bipolar." I'm like, "Okay, good to know. Thank you. I tried so hard." And so, yeah. So then, after I got diagnosed, I was put on Abilify, which is a mood stabilizer, and then also Trazodone to help me sleep at night. So I take them at night. Um, which Trazodone really helps me sleep for sure. So, I try and take that as consistently as I can. Now with the Abilify, um, do I really try to take it consistently? Okay, so I've been diagnosed with bipolar for 3 years now, and the longest period of time that I have taken my meds every single night is 3 months. And that was actually like, it ended like 2 months ago. Because I went on a trip, wasn't taking my meds, got off them, and then I've been slowly trying to get back on them. But now I'm back on them. I've been on them for almost a week now. Doing great. Living life. People that are bipolar tend to not take their meds consistently because you just want to feel that high. Because mood stabilizers just keep you right in the middle and you're just kind of floating. And you miss those intense highs and like just like what you feel, like the rush and everything. It's something. And you tend to just kind of block out and forget all the chaos that you can cause. Because when you're manic, you don't have a good memory. Um, so recently, I went to go see my therapist, and he's like, "So what'd you do Sunday?" And I see him on Wednesdays, and I was like, couldn't tell him. He was like, "Cool. How long have you been off your meds?" I'm like, I was like, "Okay, how'd you know?" And he's like, "You couldn't tell me what you did 4 days ago." I'm like, "Okay, true. You got me there." So it's just, so we'll always be talking, and he'll bring stuff up. I'm like, "I don't remember." He's like, "That means nothing because when you're manic, you don't remember things." So I'm like, "Okay, fair enough." Sorry, just have like a tickle in my throat. Anyway, so been on my meds for almost a week now, and oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm so sorry. Anyway, I'm doing a lot better. I'm feeling really good. Today's Saturday, and instead of just like doing nothing or whatever, I'm being like so productive. I've been trying to get this podcast working for like 6 hours. But, my sister was like, don't give up, you can do it. And I'm like, girl, I'm so frustrated. Because it just wasn't happening. But I did it. I'm so happy. And I think that concludes the first episode of Inside My Head, you guys. We did it. I'm so happy. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. And I'll see y'all real soon. Bye, guys.